रेकॉर्डिंग आहे ना.
10:30ला अजून एक तुला माहितच आहे आपल्या कॉलेजमध्ये राष्ट्रगीत चालू होतं.
हो त्यावेळेस पॉज करून घेऊ थोडस.
हा म्यूट करतो
उठून घेऊ बस
म्यूट करतो आणि मी पॉज करतो. ठीक आहे माझी स्क्रीन दिसते.
करू नको म्यूट करू नको राहू दे ना राष्ट्रगीत चालू राहू दे.
नाही आता नाहीये 10:30ला चालू होईल.
10:30ला चालू राहू दे म्हणजे म्यूट करू नको ऐकू आम्हाला पण ऐकवेल ना.
ओके यू ऑल्सो वांट टू हॅलो
राजेश सुरू केला का हे रेकॉर्डिंग?
येस सर.
हा ठीक आहे पाटील सर सुरू करा. मी त्यांचा बायोडाटा वाचतो. सुरू करा.
इस आभासी पटल पर मैं सभी आज के कार्यक्रम के अध्यक्ष क्षेत्रीय निदेशक क्षेत्रीय केंद्र नागपुर के कुमार सर और आज के इस व्याख्यान के मुख्य व्याख्याता डॉक्टर सुभाष देशमुख सर और क्लस्टर 7 एनसीईआरटी की ओर से सभी नोडल ऑफिसर छात्र और इंटरफेरेंशिप के सभी सदस्य जो है मैं इस आभासी पटल पर आपका स्वागत करता हूँ। जैसा कि आप विदित है आप जानते भी है कि एनसीईआरटी की ओर से ये जो हैकाथॉन चल रहा था कार्यक्रम लेकिन उसके ऊपर विजेथॉन जो है 2.0 का जो है चल रहा है। इसके संदर्भ में ये श्रृंखला का तीसरा व्याख्यान है। 2 पहले हो चुके हैं तीसरा ये व्याख्यान है जिसमें राइजिंग कैपिटल एंड फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट विषय के अंतर्गत है और मुख्य वक्ता के रूप में आज डॉक्टर सुभाष पी देशमुख सर है। और इसमें जो है मैं आपको जो है जैसा कि विदित है कि जानते ही है आपकी जो एनसीईआरटी की ओर से जो कार्यक्रम हो रहे हैं उसमें जितने भी स्टार्टअप के संदर्भ में जो भी उनको सहायता चाहिए या जो भी उनको जानकारी चाहिए छात्रों को वो जानकारी जो है इस व्याख्यान के माध्यम से आपको जो मिलती है उसमें अगर जो भी चाहिए आपको या नहीं भी मिली तो जो भी हमारे व्याख्याता है उनसे अगर संपर्क करके उनके मेल आईडी से या फोन नंबर देंगे जो भी संपर्क करके आप वो जानकारी ले सकते हैं। तो मैं छात्रों का पुनः इस पटल पर स्वागत करता हूं और आगे के कार्यक्रम के लिए मैं कुमार भट्ट सर से
मेरा आवाज आ रहा है सर?
आ रहा है सर।
तो सभी फ्रेंड्स को और हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स है लर्नर्स है और सभी क्षेत्रीय निर्देशक नागपुर भोपाल पुणे मुंबई जो क्लस्टर में हम लोग उन सभी को एक बार मैं ये करता हूँ स्वागत करता हूँ। और हम लोग ये जो एनसीईआरटी के तरफ से और हमारे क्लस्टर के तरफ से जो हम लोग प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं वो ये साथ जो अपने जो रीजनल सेंटर्स है उन सब मिलके कर रहे हैं। तो उसमें आज हम लोगों ने एक वेबिनार रखा है वर्कशॉप ऑन रेजिंग कैपिटल एंड फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट फॉर स्टार्टअप्स। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है क्योंकि दिस इज नीड for our students basically MBA students MCA BCA or technical related students okay or technical or non-technical whatever because if you want to start your startups so where we have to get the funds okay from the government agency private agency NGOs whatever okay so for this purpose we are called upon my friend that is Dr. Suhas Pandurang Deshmukh. He is the former director in NCVT Ministry of Education in New Delhi. Okay, now he's come back to our parent organization after completing 3 years from the Delhi as a NCVT director, and he has a huge experience in teaching. Okay, probably 20 to 25 years experience in teaching. He's completed his PhD in from IIT Bombay in a mechanical engineering. His area of interest is mechatronics, mechanical related things. Okay, so his publications are there. His 13 plus granted patents are there. Okay, US patents are there. 67 research publications are there. Okay, so if you see the biodata is 14 pages biodata is there. Okay, so I work with him okay when he was with a government college of engineering Karad. He is the dean and under dean him I was the controller of examination. Okay, Okay, so he is very enthusiastic person and very jolly person, if you say, and what we call and knowledgeable, we can say. If you any problem anytime you can contact, and I also convey that he selected for the principal for the government college of engineering in Maharashtra. Any maybe order maybe come in a couple of months. Okay, he will join maybe in a Nagpur, maybe in Karad, maybe in Aurangabad, whatever. Okay, so government wherever is gives, and he is the accredited for the NBA also. Okay, so he various locations he gone for the NBA accreditation. He having a lot of experience in that also. So at the national policy level, he has contributed to strengthening India's skill ecosystem through initiatives such as Green Energy Skill Framework, Unified Digital Skill Framework, and Digital Learning and Blended Education Guidelines. Okay, to support the workforce transformation for emerging sectors. Okay, so he contributes to the research and innovation have been recognized through the several awards, including Young Scientist Award from the Department of Science and Technology, and the International Innovation Award at the Bangalore Nano Science and Technology, and the International Innovation Award at the Bangalore Nano Conference, and Chhatra Vishwakarma Award by the All India Council for, that is AICT, and air cooled PPE kit during the COVID. Okay, this I witnessed for this air cooled PPE kit. He and his team developed and patented it, and through his work across the research, academia, and policy, Dr. Deshmukh continues to contribute to building the technology-driven, globally competitive skill ecosystem for India, aligned with the vision, national education policy 2020 and future of the industry 4.0. So this is the eminent personality with us. Come on, take the knowledge from him, and kindly listen what do you think. And at the last, you can ask anything. Okay, he will share his mobile number, whatever. If you need any patent related things, okay, you can contact him. Okay, so I hand over to the Dr. Suhas Deshmukh for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumarwad sir. I think I'm audible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So it's my pleasure to have an interaction with an IGNOU people, IGNOU faculties as well as students. When I was working in MCVT, it was a great privilege for me to have a mini recognition process we have gone through it. And during that, one entity was on a IGNOU, and I had a good interaction with an IGNOU professors. One of your IGNOU professor is also working as an executive member in NCBT. But this IGNOU is doing a very good work. Actually, it is more involved, and many people are getting trained, skilled, so that they can uplift their life, as well as they can go for a higher level of their salary, jobs, and kind of things. So today's session was basically concentrated on how to generate the fund for any kind of startups. So I will tell before starting my session, I will have one or two experience of my own. So when I done my PhD and graduation, and then I shifted to the Pune. And during this, I thought let's have something new, innovative kind of projects. And then we started working on funded projects from DST, ISRO, many more. So it is observed that then I thought let just convert that into a kind of products. So to convert into the products, I faced many difficulties. First difficulty I face finance, because it was a major concern. Whenever you are going to create any new product, you need a finance. So creating an innovation is something different. Sitting into the lab or computer department or on the computer itself, we can create many ideas, but these ideas should be converted into a physical product. And when you are going to convert that into a physical product, what it happens, so it should be useful to the market. And what was happening, we are going to create small mechatronic systems. I work for irrigation department. There also we had many more interesting activity like creating a mechatronic system or kind of a single chip which can collect all data. That data is going to be dumped onto the cloud, and then it will be distributed into the different tabs and kind of things. But was not successful because why it was happened. So basically, so initially I thought it idea creation and creating in a project is my work. So I thought it okay, ठीक है, चलो कर लेते हैं. That was the my thought process. But it is later on when it comes to having a scaler, I need in a money. Without that, I cannot go it. That is one part is in a technology development. Second part is in a finance. And as an Indian, we from childhood itself we never taught how to manage the finance. But if you look at the outside abroad students, they are better in the finance management and they do good amount of startups and many things. So that's the reason we could not able to much more successful compared to US or any other countries. So now we have in a proper awareness, different awareness sessions we are taking. We are going to interact with the people, what kind of problems they are facing. And that is, this IGNOU has taken a very good initiative. I really appreciate entire team of IGNOU. They are doing many such training and entrepreneurship kind of activities, creating many more awareness kind of sessions. So, and also there are many incubation centers which will support all this. So this is basically problems comes with a startup, creating an idea, developing a prototype in the lab is in a different aspect. Taking that prototype to the industry is in a completely different aspect. For that purpose, we need an appropriate skill sets. And those skill set should be created or taught in an appropriate fashion to the students. And this is what one of the good initiative by IGNOU people to learn about it. So when we look at raising capital means I need money to start my business. So for that purpose, we should know how that money is going to flow, who is going to fund me, and if they are funding, they may have some interest when they are putting money into their business. How the things move ahead with this. So all these things should be properly managed. And if you are successful in managing this also, obviously that will be a more successful startup you can give it. So you can look at here. So these many points we are going to discuss that in a startup ecosystem. How can I raise the capital? To whom I need to talk? What is the government funding? Then what is the way we can do in a financial planning? I'm not going to put more onto the financial planning. I'm more concentrating on this raising the capital. And then what is the typical expectation of investor? Why he want to put up more money onto your business? There should be a certain intent. That's what he is putting money. We need to grab or identify that intent, and then we need to go ahead with this. And then there is a typical business process, and we need to maintain that business process. Okay, and what will be the typical opportunity in coming time? That is an emerging opportunity we are going to discuss. Okay, so whenever we are going to have a typical startup, there comes with starting with an idea. One idea comes into our mind and we go on discussing many times. And then this idea is converted into product. Then we need a funding for scaling up and then grow it in good fashion. So basically, when we look at this, so can you see my screen as of now? I changed my slide. Kumar,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I can.
Yeah, it is possible.
So what is meant by startup? Startup is Kumar or sorry, राका सर जरा दरवाजा बंद करता है ना लॉक करता है का पुढचा दरवाजा कंप्लीट प्लॅक करा आणि एक काम करा आता मी लेक्चर चालू आहे सर मी नंतर बोलतो तुमच्याशी ठीक आहे Okay, startup is typically a new company which will build and grow quickly. Okay, usually this is around on a typical idea, particular idea we are going to take it. Okay. And then that idea we are converting into product, and then this product may be on a technology base or food base, agriculture base, or any high-end technology we can have. So if I compare within a very small businesses, if I want to start on a very food stall, start within a food stall. Can I consider that as in a startup? No, I can't consider, because it has a steady income source, it has a local business, and it cannot scale up very large scale. If I take in a simple example, some people have done it, food processing industry. That is also can be converted into startup. What is the way? Only starting in a small food stall or something will not serve the purpose. So what you can do, you can create a brand for it, like in a Bombay ka vada pav. These are the brand, and based on that, you can create in a multiple outlets. You can distribute it, and all whatever we are going to put this into that business means we need more money to create a multiple outlet and kind of things. So similarly, we can see one more business that Kumar also knows it, Shivraj Dhaba. That is one of the good food outlet they have created in multiple cities, not in a single cities. Similar cases we are going to discuss in the next slides. So what will be the common features? It is an early stage company. It focuses on rapid growth. It works on uncertain market. Okay? Means there is no guarantee that business will come or not. So we need to create a downward ecosystem, and that is what it is called an uncertainty into the market. Normally, if I start on only single stall, it will have a fixed input business and output in the business. So, but in this startup, many times it happens ki it is an uncertainty into the market. So, and then if you look at who is going to fund it, so there will be a fundraisers, and there will be investors, venture capitalists, angel investors. Many people will be there. So if I look at a grocery store as in a very small business, but building in a company which is creating an app, and that app can be spread it to many more organizations, and that is what it is called a startup. So this is the basic definition of the startup. So what is the way we need to do it? Okay. So first of all, we need to create an appropriate foundation for this. So we need to set up on a certain vision for our own business. Okay. So maybe in a 5 years plan, maybe in a maybe a 10 years plan, short-term plan, long-term plan, and we need to put on a more thought process before starting the startup. Okay, that is create an appropriate vision, and we need to look at how these policies support for this vision. So if I want to start in a certain business, there are many policies get interfere into our own activities. So how these policies are going to support it? So I will have a 1 minute break because we have a raster game in our college. Tomorrow, sir, should I keep it on or should I mute it?
You can on
Okay, I will keep. Okay.
on to on. National anthem is there.
Thank you. So basically, we are discussing about how to create a startup. So we need to have a certain foundation, that is vision, and we need to look at the supporting policies. Then we need to create an appropriate culture into your own organization. We need to build a team. What is the founders will sit together, they will discuss how we are going to take it and all these things. So many stakeholders will get involved into the startup business. Basically, entrepreneurs will be there, okay, innovators who build a solution to the real life problem. Then there will be a regulatory authorities, government regulatory authorities, which will enable us through different policies, funding, and infrastructure. So we can use many facilities of our government, like an infrastructure, like an incubation center, and many more things. Then we need to look at the investors. What are the investors? Okay. Then financial institutions, and which will provide us an appropriate capital. And there is one more important element in a startup, like in a mentors. So you can hire or you can talk to many mentors. So they will give you appropriate guidance into supporting this. And obviously, these innovations many times comes through academic and research institutions. Okay. So how can I need to have a connect with these academics and research institutes, which will all the time will help you to get the appropriate innovative ideas. I will tell you one thing. So many students want to work on internship or something. So if you're connected with an academics, what it happens, this raw candidates who is having a good amount of thought process and many more technological involvement. Such candidates you can hire for an internship. You can assign them some task, and they will really work in a better fashion. And that's what we need in a connect with an academics. Then once we establish this all entire things, obviously we need to connect with an again incubators, accelerators, and many industry corporates. Okay. So if you look at this middle part, like in a building and building blocks, what will be the building blocks of an entire startup ecosystem? We need a seed funding for initial idea and converting that idea into the okay. We need a networking. Many people. We need to talk to many people. We need to interact with them, and based on that, we need to concise or need to reach to the real life situation. And many times, what it happens, so if I want to purchase a mobile, and if I purchase the mobile and it doesn't work in next day itself, obviously will not purchase any more mobile from that company. Same thing happens with your products also. So to know this, what is going to happen? What are the different ways that my product is going to fail? We need to study for that. And for that purpose, we should look into networking and collaborative kind of an approach so that you will come to know okay, what is happening around your system. And these people are going to help you for a typical indirect mentoring, I can say. Then there should be an R&D system. Then we need to acquire a talent and skills. Then we need to look at the market access and then access the different mentors, industry experts for many guidance. And we need to establish an infrastructure. So this is the way it happens. If you look at what will be the steps, already I told, identify your strength, opportunities, engage different stakeholders, build an infrastructure, and facilitate the funding. For funding is a major, okay, and then connect with a mentor, empower, get it empowered from these mentors, okay, and then monitor this what is happening. Monitoring is the most important task in all startup businesses. So then, what will be the typical mechanism? We need to look into the legal and IP support. Legal, why? Because we may stuck into the some of the regulatory framework. So many times what it happens, we create some business, we earn a lot of money, and later on comes up in a tax we are not paid on the time. obviously we need to pay a fine or many more things. To avoid that, we need a legal support. We need to have an appropriate registration, all these things. And if we have a proper registration, then and then government is going to support you for a funding or incubation center or whatever. So second support mechanism is a technology support. Is I need to know what is happening in that as of now, what is current trends, all these things. And next is that business services, like how can I manage the finances? Most important. And maybe kind of on a raw material from where I have to get the raw material, and how can I process that raw material, whether I will get it from India or local raw material out of the local, maybe an abroad law kind of a raw material. And we need to have a proper marketing team for a branding and marketing purpose. And how can I? So most important is how we are going to give an international exposure, and you should have an appropriate network also for connecting the people and kind of things. Okay, so once we put the support mechanism at appropriate place, then obviously if each and every element is working in appropriate good fashion, so outcome will be in a good. That is what you can have an innovative startup. We can create many jobs to the people. Obviously, your startup is going to contribute to economy of the country. Economic growth will happen, and we can create in a global competitiveness. Okay, and obviously, once we create all this, obviously we can create an appropriate social fabric, or it will have a social impact directly. Okay, so this is the typical ecosystem of the entire startup. So if you look at further things, how the startup system is going to support in different aspects, like how can I need to grow it? Once we create an appropriate level of the business, obviously that business I want to expand it or I want to scale it to a larger scale. So then it is called as an unicorns. Startup having a smaller business, very small turnover, and later on we can have a larger turnover. For that purpose, I need to pump more money. I'll tell you one example. Byju's, one of the example. Initially, what they have put it in very good effort. They have reached to the many people. But what was happened? They have good business also, but they have pumped the money from the investors in their own ecosystem, and but unable to provide an appropriate services to the people. And that's what it was got somewhat failed. We are going to discuss those failed case studies also. So we that is one thing. And if you look at another many that is one example, that is a kingfisher, is also because of the unable to manage their finances, and that is the reason. So second, we need to work on the infrastructure. Okay, that is incubators. We need to talk to the incubators or constantly get the input from them. Then co-working space, government initiatives, and then investment. How I can look into the appropriate investment. If I am getting some money from someone, we need to return them also in support some by some mean or something. So for that purpose, we should be able to provide a proper finance flow, and that is the way. And most important it is we need to look into the regulatory framework. What are those regulatory framework? So, Ace of doing business. That is what an initiative by government itself. Okay, so they will provide you registration process, legal support, and all these things, and they will provide you tax incentives. To get that appropriate tax, you should have a proper business cycle and all those things. And we need to look into the certain compliances. And these compliances nowadays, government has made it more simplified for the people, available to anyone. That is the thing it was happening. If you look at different cities of our own country, Delhi is typically for a policy and scaling purpose. Then Mumbai is for finance and commerce purpose. You see, like a finance business or something. Mumbai is the best place. If you want to look into the microcontroller or kind of things, Bangalore is the best place. In Hyderabad, you can have a tech, pharma, biomedical kind of projects, and like this. Okay, so that is the way you can think it, because you will get in a better ecosystem into the. So if you look at these cities are concentrating on appropriate sector, and based on that information, you can think what kind of a business I can do. Because when you are creating any product and want to sell it, if it is available, customer is available locally, obviously your business will grow. So that's what I put this all into a single map like this. Okay. So if you look at why startup matters, I'm not going to detail out each and every slide now because those slides are important. That's what I explained it in more detail. So why it matters? Because it is typically a growth, the economic growth it is going to provide. It provides an appropriate engine economic growth. Okay. Then it provides an employment generation. Then it gives me a typical problem solving approach. Then it strengthens this nation. It can encourage Make in India, supports Atmanirbhar Bharat, global. It enhances global competitiveness of our own country. Okay, and it also most important is we need to come up with our own indigenous technologies. I will tell the story of Singapore. What was happened in Singapore somewhere in 1960s? Singapore was completely very poor kind of a country, and this poor country is unable to provide an appropriate facility to their own people. They are literally begging to other countries to acquire them and provide all these facilities. So that was the state. So then I don't remember the name of that prime minister, but he has taken an initiative. Initially, what he has created, he supplies the labors to every nearby countries. And then these laborers are going out of country, they are doing work, they are coming back and bringing some finances to our own. That is Singapore country. And then later on, then he shifted his business, not only to supply this is what they might have worked for 5 to 10 years onto this, supplying the labors. Means you cannot have all the time supply the labors. So instead of that, then they thought it to go for a certain business modules, which is going to create a kind of products. Initially, they have started with service-based industries. Then they have started with product-based industries. And then they are tech giants. And that is the way our countries already passed one or two stages. And our now country need to create a kind of platform. So in over the entire globe, so that it will be indigenous technologies we need to develop. And for that purpose, we are looking for many engineers, technical people, non-technical people who are going to contribute into this. So what kind of, when you are going to start up, when you are going to start any startup, you need to look into what are the different current technologies available. Like AI is going on, automation is going, IoT, robotics, some financial tech. Before COVID, everybody is going to bank and getting the money. Nowadays, nobody has to go to the bank and collect the money. That kind of apps people have created. Obviously, if you provide create more advanced kind of apps, as of now also, for banking sectors, then it comes under the fintech kind of things. Then electrical vehicle ecosystem, Industry 4. Industry 4 is the most important. Why I will say Industry 4 is zero. What was happened? So if you look into the very MSMEs, small businesses, in small businesses, they have lathe machines. They are using these lathe machines since maybe 30, 40 years. And that machine is operating perfectly. Can I have a retrofitted model, which can give me an appropriate automation? That is also one of the Industry 4.0 is one initiative for this. So you can provide a small module which is fitting with your lathe machine or milling machine or any machines. So that can be one of the business models. Such type of business models we need to create in near future, and we have to move on. So what is going to impact it? If I adopt this technology, my faster digital transformation, increased productivity, smarter system, okay, all this can get it. So similarly, you can get in a different aspects. It is going to help me into the rural and social development. Nowadays, we are more working towards agri-tech solutions, okay? Wealth creation, then encouraging youth leadership, okay? So that promotes creative thinking and many more things. Then global recognition of the India, that is one thing it will happen. And most important is in a sustainable growth. Means we need to look into the circular economy. What does that circular economy means? I'm using a simple take an example of water. Daily we use water from morning itself for bathing purpose, many more things. And this water goes to the drainage, and that drainage is going to go to the rivers. Instead of that, can I put into the circular? Can I put up on a sewage treatment plant? Or kind of things which is going to recirculate into again into the system. So there are two, three aspects of circular economy: reuse, then many these things we can use it, and then you can create in a products like providing an ASTP into the existing societies, okay, residential societies or industries, or that is also a good business move. So this is the way you can do it. Another one is carbon reduction. Carbon reduction means the pollution. Now you might have set into the temperature around about 40, 45 degree or something. Many entire Maharashtra, the temperature is beyond 50. So why it is happening? Because of the global war. And if you could provide products which will reduce this pollution and reduce carbon impact or carbon footprint into our own earth. So obviously these products industry needs it, and even government needs it, and this government is looking for such products, which is really changing the way of living a life. We need a more sustainable kind of an economy, and that is what carbon reduction or carbon footprint you can do it. There are two ways where you can provide a products. Another way you can provide a measures. Measure means what does you can provide a measurements. You have done this much. Yeah, you have to now reduce this much. But we will not provide a proper product for it. But we can at least do one thing into this key. How can I at least provide an appropriate measurement? They are consuming this. They are creating a carbon footprint. If they can reduce it, we can provide a recommendation. That is also a good way of having startup models. Okay, I will not go into the more details of some of the slides. These are the key highlights, and these you can just go through in later stage. I already shared these slides to your office professors. Okay, so what will be the opportunities? What will be the future opportunities? AI. Okay, AI is transferring into every sector. Previously, AI maybe 30, 40 years back. So AI was only a researcher's part. So that was a researcher's cake. Nobody is going to entertain for AI, because I done my PG project in 1999 into the AI as a mechanical engineer. What was happened? Then it was project was very good. I worked for a BRC, and at least more than 1 years of time. And then I developed a simple AI solution for analysis of reactor system. But nobody has entertained me when I want to get a job or something. Why it was happened? Only the reason that I was thinking in more ahead of the time. We need more, both the things we need to look at it. If you are going to think it more ahead of the time, then it cannot be converted into the business. If you are lagging, means we are very back foot. as compared to the current trends, that is also problem. We need to run our technology trends. Along with that, we need to create our products or businesses or our career also. That is nowadays this AI is one of the good tools which can be now taking capture. It means I will say it is a capturing to every sector, and that is those healthcare it is capturing, education it is capturing, smart automation it is capturing, everywhere it is capturing. So Industry 4.0, already I told there will be tools like in a smart factories, digital twin, IoT, all these tools are still we are expecting not there into all the industries. How can I put my efforts? Those are the things we can do. Green sustainability, EV ecosystem, then agri-tech solutions, that is the most important. Then healthcare products. If you want to work on more on healthcare, that is in a one Hyderabad-based organization which supports Andhra Pradesh MedTech zone. So you can go to the website, you can get in a proper business, or you can talk to these people. They are working on healthcare industries only. Okay, then education kind of skills, or you can create a personalized learning, AR, VR educations. One more example I would like to tell about EdTech example. When I was working in NCVT, there was a person from Geo, one of the startup in Pune, visited me. Then they asked that they want to contribute into the skilling ecosystem. Then I told that why cannot you create a products which can evaluate any training happening into the training centers, okay, through a video analytics. He has created one tool like we can evaluate through a plumbing operation. Plumbing operation, he is going to record the video, and based on that, it is going to identify how much accurately he has put that that candidate has a properly done on all the skill operations or not. And we put up many annotation into the video analytics. Even we provided we need a proper evaluation for it. Such type of tools are very much needed in many industries because people don't want to keep a human being to evaluate this because that human may have a certain errors. So to avoid that, what is to be done? We need to provide a proper digital tools which is going to help others. Okay. Then finance, digital payment tools, banking solutions, and then there will be a blockchain solutions are we are looking for it. Okay. Insurance solutions are also we are looking for it. Okay. Then if you look at the cyber security is another domain where we need to work at. Space technologies now increasing like this, increasing like anything. There are many in-space institutes there. Then IIT Roorkee is taking a good initiative on space engineering because one of the program that is conference there, I visited there. Then circular economy, then smart structures and urban technologies. So these are the things we are looking. And future skills will be what kind of skills we are looking from startup people as in AI and data science, then robotics, design thinking, financial literacy is most important because we as an Indian, we fail about the financial literacy, entrepreneurship and leadership skill, sustainability management. All these things are needed, future needed skills. And then why this India has a better opportunity? We have a better young people. We are now completely a digital economy, okay, digital ecosystem. We are the largest user of UPI payment system. And so why cannot we take an advantage of it? And we can create many more businesses. And we need many government supports. Then we have our own market is 150 crore people are there. So we have a large market. Most of the time we need not look at even international level. Our business is supported by our own people. That is also possible. Okay. And then what will be the there will be an innovation culture. Nowadays is flourishing like this, like good thing. I can appreciate the initiative by national education policies, integrating skill into the normal educations, providing a skilling educations that will inculcate or create a good innovation culture into the society. So there will be a typical growth flow, how it happens, what is the steps through which this innovation, technology, create a startup. Then we need to look into the market, like in a market adoption. Then look into the more people, and then we can have economic growth. What will be the points we need to take it? Focus on real life problem, leverage, use extensive use of good technologies, build in a sustainable models, and create in a scalable solution. Don't look at a very only few people are going to use it. If I say I want to create an atomic force microscopy, one of the good instrument which can measure and have an accuracy around about an atomic level accuracy, angstrom level accuracy. Okay. So, but how many people are going to buy it? Hardly research institute will buy. No, not a single industry needs it. So that's what, whenever we are going to look into the business or startup, we need to look into the scalable businesses. That business should grow like a bust, I can say. And it should provide a proper societal problems, solution to the proper societal problems. So if you look at a startup, we are seeing the steps: idea, prototype, market entry, growth, expansion, maturity, and get it transferred to the unicorn or bigger business. There are different places we need money. Okay. If you look at this table, stage wise, what kind of funding sources are needed? So in ideation stage, we need to go for a self-funding, or you can lend from your friend, or you can use your family uh, finance, and you can develop a simple prototype. Once we are ready with this prototype, we need to go to the next stage, market valuation and product prototype stage, I can say. So you can talk to the incubators, we can get the grants from many organizations like this. Then you can say once that product is ready, then it is called as a startup. And this is what it is called as an early startup. This early startup is supported many times as an angel investors. And then once angel investors are invested, your business is started, we are going to produce maybe 10 tons, or depends on this. Maybe that money is going to flow and business is created now. Okay, maybe on a local type, but you want to now grow into a multiple demographic places. So for that purpose, you need to talk to venture capitalist, which is helping you to the growth of your startup. Okay? And then you can expand it to the once you reach to the certain level, like I will say it is a unicorn level, 1 billion turnover or something. Then it convert into an business. Okay, it will not be a no more startup, I will say. Then in this case, you can create your IPO or private equity, and you can go on increasing your growth like this. Okay. Then common, what are the challenges? Fundamental challenges in each stage. If you look at the idea stage, most important challenge is validation, whether my product is useful to the people or not. That is what in a typically validation we need to verify it. We need a many equipment for research purpose or manufacturing purpose or in a prototype. Many times we throw out the prototype which is not successful. And that is then a major challenge into this validation. Second is in prototype stage, the development product, converting any instrument into a product. It has it needs a good amount of effort. Then we can convert it to the product. And that is what in a product development process we need to stage. Then in early stage, we need to grab many customers. That is what customer acquisition is a major challenge. Then in growth stage, cash flow is a major concern. If you monitor proper cash flow and maintain most important minimum debt within a better profit, then your startup will be much more successful. And once growth stage is reached to a certain saturation level, we can expand it, and we can now have a better competition with other people. And once reach this to the certain higher level, then there is no expansion it will happen. Obviously, we need to look into new innovations or sustainability. I will tell you one example, Lux Saban. From childhood itself to the till the date, we use in a Lux Saban. Even toothpaste we use. Okay, but what is happening? Maybe a 1 or 2 years of time, they are changing at least some flavor they are going to add it, or some new product they are bringing it, and that is what an innovation they need it. And nowadays we are looking for sustainability. That's what I put the word as sustainability. Once you reach to a certain maturity of your business, you need to maintain that innovations or change in the product all the time. I'll not say completely different product we need to do. We need to have a smaller changes into the product and put into the market so that everybody is going to use that, and there will be more market will be captured. Right? Same thing you can look into the cars. We have seen nano car, then Indica, or many more cars. Why they stop that business? The reason is that they want to come up with new innovative models, and that's all. So these are the stages where we need in a finance. So already we have discussed. This is what an ideation phase. So what it happens initially with enthusiastic, we start idea. Okay, it is on a very high risk. So I struck up into many times into this stage itself, and that's what it is called as a validate. I created at least 2-3 products, try to talk to the people, but sometimes it was successful, sometimes it was not successful. But I was unable to deliver the product at a time, and that is comes with an uncertainty to the opportunities. Some people will not pay within a time, so you should able to sustain during this particular phase. Okay, creating an idea, converting into a product, and selling to the market. We need a finance, we need a proper timeline, and if we maintain those, obviously we can come out of this valley of death. Once you come out of that, and then obviously once that product seems to be successful, then obviously many people will support you for a funding, like an angel investors. Okay? Then next comes up an early stage, then your business will start. This is the major hurdle. Once you come out of that hurdle, you can be on a winning stage. Okay, then there will be an angel investment, then venture capitalist. Angel investment typically provides a support for a smaller business, very large businesses, and but venture capitalists pump the money for scaling the business. We'll look into next slides. And then next is final is we can create an IPOs, or you can have your own shares, which we can that is what it's going to growth. That is a crowdfunding. It is called. That is the way you can go ahead. Okay. Then next, this is what in a typical startup cycle. We can look into the nature. So in value of the death, it is in a very high risky stage. We need to maintain, we need to be in a more patience, and all these things we need to work into the value of death. Then seed stage is in a vision-based investment. Then early validation means if I'm going to put the money here, and maybe after 5 or 10 years, I will get a good amount. That is what called as vision-based investment. Then early stage investment will be a validation. Means whether that product is running properly into the market or not. So whether it is meeting the demand of the market or not. So that is what called as a validation phase. Then venture capital stage where scale, I want to increase like in a bigger scale. I want to increase my more outlet. I want to start the business not into one single city. I want to go for multiple cities. Then it is called on the scale up. And then once you reach to the certain level, like in a Tata, they have reached to the one of the good matching. And then what they do, they create in a shares, they collect the money from many people through on a share purchasing or kind of things. And that will give you a financial, is that is an institutional confidence. So there will be a startup funding like equity based funding, investors will be there, then venture capitalist, crowdfunding, already I told it. So these are called as an equity base, means I'm going to put the money, okay, from the and it is involves exchanging ownership shares. Means I'm going to call one or two investors. I'm going to give them shares. A share in my business, means share in the profit and kind of things. Okay, capital share into the business. This capital does not require a repayment, but shifts corporate governance to the to include an external investors. Okay, so that is what an equity funding. And next is an debt or non-dilutive alternatives. Debt means I'm going to inject the capital without surrendering the corporate equity or broad control, preserving original founder ownership. Okay? Obviously, that will be a debt base, that is a venture capitalist debt, then revenue base, then government grants, all these comes under debt or non-dilutive alternatives. Okay? If you look at how can I compare these funding methods? One is bootstrapping, means that is a basic. I can collect the money from my family, my friends, and kind of things, and I can create an idea. I can so bootstrapping initiative also created by many incubation centers. Many institute also support into this bootstrapping phase. Okay, so it is 100% is ownership of that particular founder, right? And it has a limited scaling. Means I cannot go from a very large scaling or something. And it has based on the very high personal risk we are going to initiate. Then angel investor, it is typically a seed kind of money. Okay, and we need a validation, mentorship during this angel investment phase. Then it is a fragmented capital table, fragmented something. Okay, and then venture capitalist, it has more scaling purpose, and debt is no dilution or fast disbursement. I need it. Okay, so in that case, I can use it. These are the typical framework. Yes. So these are the stages where during the business, we need to put the different funding sources into my business and grow it like this. Okay. So whenever we are looking for startup to unicorn journey, startup means I have created a startup, I reach that startup to 1 billion. Okay. And obviously that will be converted into unicorn. Already I told. So how can I reach to that unicorn level? Okay, so we need to focus main on real life problems. We need to think that those products are very much useful into the people. Then we need to iterate many times, test it, measure it, improve your product many times, like in a iterate process. Then we need to build great products. Okay, and to create those great products, we need a good team or a great team, I can say. And then later on, we need to look into the appropriate scaling of it, means increasing the bigness to different level, not in a smaller business. And then obviously, whichever the product we are going to sell it, it should create value into the system. Okay, social system. So if it is going to give you the value, obviously people will buy. Take an example of Google. If I buy a mobile, there is no Google. They will not charge you anything. But what they are doing, they are providing a certain advertise or something. Through that also they are earning it. But without Google or Google Map, it is nowadays it is unable to reach to the final locations. We struck up into the unknown places. So, but this Google Map may be failing at one or two locations. If you visit 10, we use 10 times this map, at least one or two times only it fails. It will not fail to the 100% time. Okay? Hardly it has a 90% success. So, which is going to create a value into the ecosystem. And that is what is the most important. Okay. So this is again how can I go from startup to unicorn and kind of I can create there will be a different regulatory frameworks for those. These are the typical stakeholders of this entire ecosystem. Okay. Then there are typical reasons why this startup fails. Lack of understanding the market. We don't have an appropriate team. No clear value proposition. Poor way of execution. And many times what it happens, business will uh, will have to stop because of the cash. Cash flow is not appropriate. Okay. Then it is this product is not customer focused. Then it is too. Just now I told that one example. I done my PG in AI, but there's a niche area that time. Now also it is a niche area, but it was too early. It is your product should not be a maybe it is useful after 5 to 10 years. Lectures are 5 to 10 years. That's what it is called as a too niche. Means technology is yet not percolated into the social ecosystem, but still you are going to create a product. Will also not give you a better success. And sometimes you cannot scale the business. That is unable to scaling the business. And being in a too early or too late kind of mistakes. That is the way you need to look at it. Okay. So you can look at most important, ran out of the finance, no market need, got out competed, means the business model. We need to work on better business model, not in a flawed uh, the business model. We may struck into the legal or regulatory challenges. Okay, pricing, costing issue. Okay, proper team. All these parameters we need to look at, and these are the typical reasons for that startup failures. Okay, so these are the examples where we can see these businesses have failed. I will not say it is in a startup. These businesses have failed. What was happened for within a Kingfisher Airlines? It has an increase like anything. They have called many venture capitalists. They have put the money, more and more money into this, but they have not thought of within a financial sustainable. Okay, they got into the debt. Okay, excessive debt accumulation was happened, and obviously this business, airline business, is in a very operationally cost. Okay, flying flight from Bombay to Delhi, single flight needs 5 to 10 lakhs rupees for only fuel cost. Baki, then many crew payment, then pilot payment, or many the entire operation. You need a huge money. So obviously you should be working. We should have a proper operational cost. Then poor cash flow management. These are the typical reasons it has it was happened. And what are the why it was happened? Over leveraging, luxury focused spending, then weak financial discipline, inability to manage the working capital. These are the reasons. That's the reason this Kingfisher has well. And the basic lesson through this is the brand image cannot replace the sound financial management. Means we need to first of all work on the financial management, and then we need to create a brand. Is the Byju's. In Byju's, what is it is a typical aid tech tool. They have gone through many parents. Many parents have bought. Then they have on a tab. They have digital content. They want to sell it. All this was happening. but they have started expanding like anything. Okay. And then it has created a financial stress onto the investors. Okay? It was investors are not ready to support for very fast kind of scaling. So what was that? What is the reason? It is an aggressive scaling was happening. Financial management is not properly used. It has maybe sometimes they might have used misused it. Governance concern, then sustainability challenges. माझं lecture आहे थोडा on you. Then what we learned it out of it, rapid growth must be supported by a strong, proper governance into my system, and it should have a sustainable financial management. Okay? So previous airline was also failed with the financial planning. This also got a failure with the financial planning. We work. It is in a co-working space. Then massive valuation of growth without profitability, aggressive expansion strategy. So if you look at the aggressive expansion strategy itself, many times it fails because we are unable to manage the finances. Okay. कुमारवड सर माझ्यासाठी अजून किती वेळ आहे?
हा तुम्हाला जेवढं घ्यायचं ते घेऊ शकता.
Then these are the few more failures. These are the two companies. I will take 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. Okay. So if you look at this, what was happened, what is the basically scaling? When coming to the certain level into the startup is okay, we can do it. But when you are going to scale it, you should be very cautious. Okay. When you are scaling, what kind of funding you are taking, what kind of risk you are taking, what is the advantage of taking the risk? There may be a certain issues comes. So there will be equity-based models. We need to study these models, and based on that, we need to go for it. And I will suggest to go for organic approach. Okay, it is basically a founder-driven approach. One of my friend is having one Policy Bazaar company. You might have heard about it. It is providing a platform for all insurance companies and customers, and they are going to give them a connect between that is an insurance company and customers. Okay, that is the only website. So initially, Policy Bazaar has pumped the money like anything. And one of my friend is having one company. That company name is Policy Budget. Okay, so both businesses are different, means same. But what has happened? Both are competitive. What has happened? Policy Bazaar pumped the money like anything. Okay, but Policy Budget never pumped the money from outside. It is typically a founder driven. Okay, and that's the reason it is. That can be called as an organic. Means it is a slowly, steady, increasing their businesses. But putting an aggressive money, obviously we will get our more funding, but will not all the time serve the purpose. I will not say it is not good, but it is we need to look into the appropriate way, and then appropriate methodology, then go for the business. So we'll now look at what is meant by capital. There will be a different capital. One is finance is one of the major capital for my industry or startup. Then human capital means I need a team. I need a skilled people, which is going to give me an appropriate leadership, innovation, and they should have an appropriate experience for us. Okay, strong team will help me to create great firms. Then we need an intellectual capital. We need an intellectual capital means we need to have go for patents, design, research, proprietary technology, brand value. These comes under intellectual capital. And the last one is a social capital. Who is going to mentor your startup? Who are the investors? So then what is your connect with the many industries? What is your strategic partnership? Okay? And this will improve multiple opportunities, gives an gives an appropriate acceleration and growth into startup. Okay, so financial capital, there will be an equity base, then debt base. If I get the money from founders, angel investment, venture capitalists, public investor, then it is called as an equity. Okay, no payment obligations and many characteristics will be there. But if you look at debt kind of things, I'll get the money from banks, financial institutes, because these people will charge you all the interest. Okay, but these founders and angel investors can wait for longer time to grow that business. But these debt capital investors, like in a sources, like in a bank, a financial institute, or government loans, you have to pay that much amount of interest. Whether your business is successful or not, that doesn't matter. But here you will get an advantage for this. Okay. Then working capital, there will be a different capitals like in a classify, you can working capital, financial capital itself, working capital like in a salaries, inventories, electricity, rent, office expenses. Working capital is current asset minus current liabilities. Fixed capital means we are going to buy a typical machineries, then building, infrastructure, all these equipments, all comes under fixed capital. Seed capital means initial idea and prototype development. So that is what it is called, seed capital. Then venture capital is in a scaling. नंतर बोले आप venture capitalist is going to give you the money for scaling your business, market expansion, technology development, or many things. Okay, if you look into how these money or what type of an investment or capital requirement into different stages of my business. Idea stage, where I need a seed capital. Then MVP stage, prototype funding. Then early growth, angel investment. Scaling, venture capitalist. Expansion, private equity. And then public funding and kind of things. Okay. So then comes upon a different stages. I put into the infographics, these all. Okay, bootstrapping. I will not go in more detail about bootstrapping because we had a good amount of discussion into this. So these are the government sources through which you will get the funding. Okay, there are Startup India initiative. Okay, it is in a government of India scheme. Its objective is to promote a startup, ease a regulatory burden, provide a tax benefit, and encourage the innovations. So this gives a DPIIT recognition, tax exemption, self-certification you can provide, then easy public procurement, faster patent processing. These are the initiatives or support you can get from the Startup India initiatives. CDB, which is a Small Industries Development Bank of India. Okay, it provides a funding for a startup, MSME financing also, innovation support, and important fund is that is funds for startups. Smile scheme is there, which is going to again support for startup or businesses. Direct assistance to all MSMEs, micro, medium scale industries. Then basically CDB act as a bridge, okay, between innovative startup and financial institutions. It will give a proper bridge, which is going to help me for a better way. Then PMMY, that is a Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, very small business, local businesses. For that purpose, it is very much used. Micro enterprises, young entrepreneurs, where you can get a fund for different categories: Shishu, Kishore, and Tarun. These are three categories. Shishu, you can get a 50,000, then Kishore 50,000 to 5 lakhs. And Tarun means that is depend on the stage of your business. 5 to 10 lakhs. Stand Up India scheme. So these women entrepreneurs or SC/ST, that is a reservation-based schemes. This will also going to support you in loan term, that is a 10 lakh to 1 crore. and it supports manufacturing, trading kind of services. There are another government fundings like in a PM, that is a Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. Okay, Khadi and village industries, local businesses, right? And basic purpose is support on a micro enterprise, rural development, and then to provide an appropriate financial support, and also gives a subsidy-based assistance, manufacturing services support, and encourage rural entrepreneurships. Okay. Atal Innovation is managed by Niti Aayog, basically focus on innovation, incubation. And this Atal Innovation works in institutes like in a school or college innovation ecosystem. And what are the components? It is an incubation center. It supports for incubation centers, then tinkering labs, and it also provides startup mentoring. Then MSME ministry schemes like it is technology upgradation, skill development, cluster development, credit link subsidy. There was one scheme initiated by MSME ministry, that is Vishwakarma scheme, Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma scheme, which is it is going to support you your own business you want to develop it. Like take an example of beauty and wellness, or I want some ladies want to go from a beauty parlor. That is Pradhan Mantri this scheme, Vishwakarma scheme, support on a new equipment. Okay, they given a proper training. For those training approval, I have given when I was working in NCVT training program. Once it is successfully trained, then those equipment will be given to that particular entrepreneur, and they can increase their finance, or they can start good business, or increase their investment and kind of things they can do. Okay. Then there is a biotechnology industry. Then there are schemes like in a technology TDB, Technology Development Board. Okay, it is in a commercializing what are the technology indigenously developed in our country. Then state government have different schemes. Okay, maybe every state provides an appropriate scheme for such businesses. Okay. Then government incubation support. So if you look at the IITs, there is an IIT Bombay has their sign incubation center. Similar kind of an incubation center you can see in many industries, many IITs or institutes, right? Like this. Universities, NITs, IGNOU also innovation ecosystem is there. Then MSME incubation centers are there. All these things you can do. Then there is a credit guarantee fund for micro and small enterprises. This is again, then collateral free loans can be given, reduce risk for banks, and it is helpful for first generation enterprises. So these all schemes are put into a single picture, and that's what government funding opportunities and kind of things. I collected from different sources and I put into a single piece, like in a startup seed fund is there, Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Scheme, MSME scheme, biotechnology scheme, the TBD, DST schemes are there. DST also funds lot. Then Atmanirbhar Bharat. All these things you can look it into this, and you can identify which scheme is best suited to you. Ask the money, you start your business. Then I will not go in more detail what is angel investment and all this. So these are the many investors. These are the typical angel investors, like great Ratan Tata and many more people are there. Okay, these are the Indian angel investors. Then venture capitalists. These are the companies provides. These are the companies are typically venture capital VC firms, venture capital firms, which will support you for scaling the business. Okay. Then crowdfunding. Okay. How can I create a crowdfunding? Then come with an idea. Then campaign the crowdfunding. Determine your fundraising goal and typical deadline. Then share your campaign on website and social media and collect the money. So that is the way you can create an product. And there is a most important one is incubator, another is an accelerator. Okay? Incubator supports a startup. Okay? Startup, and it is provides an office space at reduced rent. But accelerate is typically used in the scaling purpose. It provides mentoring, education, technical assistance, and kind of things. So you can look at at different stages. What is the role of incubator? What is the role of accelerator? So incubator can provide you seed money. Incubator can be there into the academic institutes or government funded, no equity taken. It has a limited duration. Okay, maybe in a 3 years of a timeline they will put it in. That is what. Then there will be a minimal fees for services. Okay, it has a local presence. Okay, then acceptance criteria is very lenient kind of an acceptance, and we can have a diverse startups. But if you look into the accelerators, there are accelerator centers also. Similarly, incubator centers. Another one is an accelerator centers. It is once startup is reached to a certain level, then accelerator comes. It then it supports the funding through the venture capitalist. It is an equity stake required. It has a duration. This accelerator will support you not longer time, but it is 3 to 6 months to support. Then equity exchange and funding support. Then work with already established locations and highly selective proven business model. For that only accelerator support will be provided. So this is typically, you can just go through all these slides. You will learn lot many things. Okay. So what will be the future of entrepreneurship? Means where we need to look to create businesses. How can I identify different product ideas or startup idea or something? So these are the areas you can concentrate and you can work on it. Technology driven, like an AI, IoT, 5G. These are the technology driven ideas. Sustainability, green solutions you can provide. Digitalizing platforms, you can create small apps, remote work, e-commerce business. This is also good way you can provide a platform for apps or something. Then changing the customer mindset. Okay? Then global collaboration. So these are the basic future is going to change our entrepreneurship. And typical ideas like an AI is there. Education nowadays, education is converting into classroom education to the personalized educations. All the things are coming into the tab, mobile or laptop. We can provide a proper apps for such type of activities. We can provide an AR VR kind of a solution, which is going to give me a proper experience like this. Then sustainable climate change, mobility, support, EV solutions, all these startup ideas. Based on that, you can identify one and you can go ahead. Then future entrepreneur, what should have that future entrepreneurs? Like he should be an innovative thinker. It should be adaptive, agile, having a nature. He should be a tech savvy, impact driven, and he should be not an independent uh, leader, but he should be a collaborative kind of. He should be able to work with many people. Okay. Then what will be the typical skills for tomorrow? So problem solving skills, critical thinking, we need a digital literacy, proper communication, financial literacy or acumen, then resilience, then he should have an appropriate creativity, and finally he should have a proper leadership. Not only individual leadership, but it should have a collaborative leadership. So this is from my end, and thank you very much. Kumar, sir?
Yes, sir.
It's yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Suhas Deshmukh, sir. If any queries, you can raise your hands. Learners, Anand Kalyankar, please.
Thank you for this great opportunity to getting this uh, important knowledge. And can we get PPT of this webinar, please?
Yes, we can share. So, Kumarwar sir, you
How
can
can
share
I will
PDF.
I will share you. Okay. So
uh,
yeah, I
can
will
Anyway,
share.
I'm going to put this
shall I
onto the
share my mail
LinkedIn.
ID
Yes.
or
No, don't worry, you will get that PPT. I'm going to share onto the LinkedIn also. You may have on a WhatsApp group also. Then professor can share PPTs on the WhatsApp. Anything else? Any
uh,
doubts or any questions?
I am not in that WhatsApp group. Can
Okay.
I join?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
you
Yeah. अजून काय प्रश्न
Shall
आहे का
I
कल्याणकर?
सर मी काय नंबर वगैरे म्हणजे कसा जॉईन होऊ शकतो व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुप नंबर शेअर
हा,
करू का
आम्ही तुम्हाला ईमेलवर पाठवून देऊ.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर
ओके.
ठीक है. चल.
सो राजेश, आपलं जे सोशल मीडियाचे आहेत ना,
Yes, sir.
RC चे जे चॅनल आहे ते सगळं
हो
शेअर करून टाक टेक्स्ट
हो
मध्ये.
हो
ठीक आहे. सो आमचे वी हॅव ऑल सोशल मीडियाज. यू कॅन जॉइन आवर सोशल मीडिया फॉर द लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स अँड वेबिनार्स, सेमिनार्स, लेटेस्ट टेक्नॉलॉजीज, लेटेस्ट हॅपनिंग्स इन द IGNOU or
I have a
world.
small observation. Can I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can please.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, let me compliment the honorable speaker for giving such a wonderful presentation about all these things. Our students really wanted to know actually, and especially what I liked the most was that generally there is a kind of a misconception that only the people who are skilled in technology they only venture into startups. But he has given us a wide variety of areas where the startup opportunity.
चालेल, एक 5 मिनिट थांबताय.
So
तुम्ही
that's
बोलताय तुम्हाला काहीच ऐकू येत.
yeah. I have a small kind of observation that the uniqueness of any idea obviously is the most important in exploring the startup opportunity. But how can an entrepreneur know that whether the right time for that unique idea has come? Because the end user knows it the best. End user knows whether that product or service, the right time for that product or service has come. But how can an entrepreneur know how the entrepreneur should proceed about this to know whether the unique idea which he or she has in his mind is the right time for doing this? Because there have been so many good ideas which actually didn't they failed because the right time had not come for that.
Okay, what it happens when you look into the particular idea or something? What is basically unique idea? ये आइडेंटिफाई करे कैसे? You actually क्या होता है कि मैं आपको मेरा खुद का एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ. ठीक है. हमने एक कंप्रेसर बनाया था, लीनियर कंप्रेसर. अभी की जो रेफ्रिजरेटर रहता है ना, वो कंप्रेसर की जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उससे पूरा अलग था. उसमें था कि लीनियर मैकेनिज्म था and it doesn't have a motor like a traditional हमारी रोटरी मोटर रहती है, उसको रिमूव करके हमने पूरा कंप्रेसर बना दिया. बट वो कंप्रेसर का कॉस्ट मेरा जा रहा था ऑलमोस्ट 1 लाख के ऊपर. ओके, वी गॉट अ फंडिंग फ्रॉम इसरो पीपल, DST से भी बहुत सारा पैसा मिला. मगर व्हेन आई वांट टू पुट दैट इनटू द मार्केट, I want to put that compressor into the refrigerator. रेफ्रिजरेटर का कंप्रेसर आता है 5 या 6 हजार. मेरा कंप्रेसर का फर्स्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट इज गोइंग beyond 75,000 to 1 lakh. Does that will support or does that is applicable to the ecosystem? No, it doesn't. What I had to do, I had to reduce the cost. That is one. So that many people, it is that technology or that particular product is accessible to many people. जैसे this is one way you can think of कि हमारा प्रोडक्ट ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वो मैक्सिमम लोगों तक जाना चाहिए. That is one thing. Second thing, उसी प्रोडक्ट को मुझे और मैक्सिमम लोगों के पास तो जाना ही चाहिए, उसका कॉस्ट भी कम होना चाहिए, एंड इट इज उसको यूज भी होना चाहिए। नहीं तो एक बार खरीदा बाद में खरीदना ही नहीं है, ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए। यू शुड यूज इट डेली बेसिस। दैट इज व्हाट अ टिपिकल रियल लाइफ कनेक्ट, कि एक्चुअल में क्या एक आध यूजर यूज करता है, मतलब कितना यूज करता है, कितना उसका यूटिलाइजेशन है। ऑल दीज थिंग्स शुड बी इंक्लूडेड इन दिस। सो ये करने के लिए आपको थोड़ा सा मार्केट स्टडी करना पड़ता है, ठीक है। वो मार्केट स्टडी विल हेल्प यू टू डू दिस ऑल। ये मार्केट स्टडी विल टेल यू व्हाट इज द वे वी नीड टू गो अहेड, तो उसको कैसे कैसे उसको बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट करें, कौन से स्टेज पे ये बिजनेस फेल हो सकता है। दिस ऑल थिंग्स यू हैव टू डू इट एनालिसिस, and for that purpose you need to get the data from market study.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Suhas. Mr. Santosh Kakade having some issues. Please, Santosh Kakade.
हा येस 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 थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. देशमुख सर मराठीत बोलत चालेल का?
हो चालेल ना.
अरे काही हरकत नाही.
राईट. सो आरसी नागपूरचा हा प्रोग्राम अतिशय इनोव्हेटिव्ह आणि खूप छान, खूप चांगला वाटला. देशमुख सरांची या विषयावरती कमांड खूप आहे आणि त्यांनी चांगली हे इन्फॉर्मेशन आणि बेसिकली मोटिवेटिंग आणि स्टिम्युलेटिंग हे दिलेली आहे. मला एक फक्त सरांना एक विचारायचं की प्रॅक्टिकली आता एखादा जो एंटरप्रेनर होऊ पाहतो तर त्याला प्रॅक्टिकली हेल्प मिळू शकते का? म्हणजे हाऊ इट इज पॉसिबल टू गेट अ प्रॅक्टिकल सोल्युशन टू हिज आयडिया.
तुमचं बेसिकली आयडिया मी तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या स्टेजेस मध्ये सांगितलं. जसं की आयडिया जनरेशन असेल टू प्रोडक्ट, त्या फेज मध्ये तुम्हाला टेक्नोक्रॅट त्याला मेंटरिंग करतात. मेंटरिंग करायसाठी तुम्ही अकॅडमिक इन्स्टिट्यूट मध्ये जावा, चांगला फॅकल्टी आयडेंटिफाय करा आणि त्याच्याकडनं तो सपोर्ट मिळू शकतो. दिस इज वन. एकदा प्रोडक्ट झाला की तो मार्केटमध्ये पुटअप करताना यू नीड इन मनी. ओके, तो पैसा कसा येणार आहे? मग त्यासाठी तुम्हाला एंजल इन्व्हेस्टर शोधावं लागतील. हा एक पार्ट झाला. सो दुसरा सगळ्यात महत्वाचं कसं आहे की आपल्या भारतामध्ये आपण वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी इन्क्युबेशन सेंटर्स बनवले. ओके, मला जर बिझनेस स्टार्टअप करायचं असेल आणि बऱ्याच इन्क्युबेशन सेंटरमध्ये ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टीची त्यांनी प्रोसिजर ठेवलेली असते. एखाद जण रजिस्टर करतोय तर कशा पद्धतीने करायचं, काय करायचं, आणि स्टार्टअप इंडिया प्लॅन आहे त्याच्यामध्ये ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत. तुम्ही इन्क्युबेशन सेंटरला गेला की तुम्हाला बऱ्याच आयडिया ते स्वतःहून तुम्हाला सपोर्ट करतील आणि त्यांच्याकडनं भरपूर आयडियाज भेटतील. ठीक आहे.
ओके ओके, दॅट्स नाईस. थँक्यू सर. तुमचा नंबर मिळू शकेल का, म्हणजे इन केस समजा कॉन्टॅक्ट करायचं असेल?
या आई कैन शेयर माय नंबर.
टेक्स्ट में टाकून दिया. और किसी को पूछना है क्वेश्चन, सवाल इसके बारे में? सर के खुद के पेटेंट्स, बहुत सारे पेटेंट्स है, मैंने जैसे बताया 13 इंटरनेशनल पेटेंट्स है और इंडियन पेटेंट्स भी है, और बहुत सारे पेटेंट के ऊपर उन्होंने लेक्चर भी दिए हैं. और हमारे कॉलेज में हम जो पहले प्रीवियस कॉलेज में थे वहाँ पे भी उन्होंने बहुत सारे सेशंस लिए हैं और बहुत सारे पेटेंट भी बनाया उन्होंने. ठीक है. तो और जो नए दर्शक है उनको बताना चाहता हूँ सर, फॉर्मर अभी वो दिल्ली से रिटर्न हुआ है, डायरेक्टर थे NCVET, Ministry of Education, and also related with the IGNOU also. So anyone want to add the question or ask the question? ओके सर, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहते हैं क्या सर? डॉक्टर पांडे सर, उमेश पांडे सर?
नहीं, थैंक यू.
ओके, सो उमेश पांडे जी, डॉक्टर उमेश पांडे, ये हमारे सीनियर रीजनल डायरेक्टर, फॉर्मर डायरेक्टर इन रीजनल सर्विस डिवीजन IGNOU न्यू दिल्ली. He joined and he is our mentor in our this cluster programs. And I think over to Milind Patil sir, please, anything you want to add, or shall you can go to the valedictory?
हाँ सर, सर का तो व्याख्यान एकदम सारगर्भित रहा है. जो भी सर ने जानकारी दी है स्टूडेंट को जो है या इंक्यूबेटर को, तो मुझे लगता है कि इनके ये लिए सहयोग होगा, जो भी वो आगे के लिए उनको जो वो चाहिए जो है. और अन्य भी, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया था कि अगर उनको इस संदर्भ में और जानकारी चाहिए तो सर रहेंगे ही जो उपस्थित, कि जब भी वो चाहे तो उनकी सहायता करेंगे, या हम भी उसमें रहेंगे उन छात्रों को अगर कोई सहायता चाहे तो बस मेरी एक सामान्य टिप्पणी सर रहेगी इस संदर्भ में।
Thank you, Milind Patil sir. Once again, thank you to all learners, and thank you to all senior regional directors, Pune, Mumbai, Jabalpur, Panaji, okay, as well as all our assistant regional directors and other faculties and staff from our all the centers. And I congratulate Dr. Suhas Deshmukh. He got selected as a principal through the Maharashtra Public Service Commission, and he topped the inner merit. He is one number, and I asked to him to join in a Government College of Engineering, Nagpur. So we will proceed for the another sessions or some collaborative programs with the IGNOU and Government College of Engineering, Karad. Sincerely, once again, congratulate to the Dr. Suhas, and I thanks to all the participants. And this program is ended here. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Sharing.